Welcome back to another session with AKC Capital. With me, I have AKC Capital's founder and director, Mr. Aditya K. Chopra. This month's theme is starting your financial journey, and today's topic will be why do I need a financial plan? Viewers, have you ever felt like your money disappears by month end? You're not alone. 78% of Indians have no financial written plan. Today we answer, do you really need a financial plan?
Okay, thanks for the question. So I think this question is very pertinent. Do you need a financial plan? So what is a financial plan? In fact, a financial plan is essentially a money roadmap. And it is proven that people who do have a robust financial plan have 3 times more savings than an average person who doesn't have one. Statistically, people who do not have a financial plan just tend to save 8 to 10% of their income, and people with a financial plan can raise that to 20 to 30%. So it's very important you have one.
So now let's move on to question number 2. How much of my income should I save each month?
Well, viewers, that's a brilliant question. We feel that an average person should have a wealth building target of at least 20 to 30% of post-tax income. So for example, if your take home is around 45,000, 20% of that is roughly around 9,000 on a post-tax basis, right? And when you invest this money on a regular basis, this compounds to around 10 lakhs, 10.8 lakhs to be precise, with a CAGR return of 12% over 10 years. This is what makes the difference. And this ultimately makes a difference between people who accumulate and build long-term wealth, vis-a-vis the people who do not save and hence never build long-term wealth.
So now for question number 3 we have, what happens if I have no plan when an emergency strikes?
Well, I think that's a very pertinent question. Statistically, an average Indian tends to have around 50,000 of emergency expenses in a year, right? So if you have not planned for that, what happens next? You end up taking a loan at 15 to 18% interest to get through that emergency requirement of 50,000. And eventually you realize this balloons to a massive debt, which could be worth 70 or 80,000 compounded over time. So it's very important that you have an emergency corpus, and your savings, timely savings to be precise, can really help you in the long run.
And for today's session, the last question is, where do I start if I've never had a financial plan?
That's a brilliant question. So viewers, the question is, where does one start if you don't have a financial plan? Essentially, this is a simple 3-step process. First, estimate your take-home income, whether it's a monthly basis. Then see what your fixed expenses are. That's step number 2. And typically, fixed expenses could include your grocery bills, your telephone, your car repairs, or even furnishing your EMIs, which you have to pay on time. The third and the most vital step is apply the 20% rule, 20% of your take home on a monthly or an annualized basis. That is your savings target. And that is the corpus, which is 20% of your income that you start investing in a disciplined manner. And we've seen over time that even small steps wherein you're investing 500 rupees on a monthly basis through a systematic investment plan goes a long way to have a certain corpus. And you're always better off vis-a-vis a person who's always waiting for the perfect plan and the perfect day. To sum it up, what we're trying to say is that people who do have a financial plan tend to have 3 times more savings, right? People who have this discipline tend to curtail or tend to tide over emergency situations in a much more better and planned manner. So it's never too late. Follow the 3-step process as enumerated earlier and start your investment journey right now.